Senate standing orders in order to be able to follow up on the Senate standing orders that are keep being referred to very often by the Speaker and also by the senators when they rise to make their points. And then you can get, that is the Council for Deputy Governor on your screens, Kato Kigen Senior Counsel. And there is Honorable Silvana Sosoro, Member of Parliament for National Assembly, and also Degwanjiru, and the Deputy Governor, Dr. Robert Monda, in readiness for these afternoon sittings. In the chamber, quite a number of senators already in the chamber, and in readiness for these proceedings. And you can assess every activity that goes on in Parliament on his website, including every report that is tabled before the any House of Parliament on its website, as well as the library that is accessible on the website of Parliament, that is the Munge Library, where you can be able to assess every document that has been uploaded there, including a lot of documents from since the establishment of Parliament and also the Senate, where all those documents are uploaded on that website, as well as follow up on the bills that are before either House of Parliament, as well as the petitions that are before the Senate or the National Assembly, and also any matter, in either be it statutory instruments or bills or also statements that are pending before the Senate, you can always be able to follow them up. And as you can see on your screens, the maze of the Senate has been covered, but still on the floor of the Senate. And the indicating that the Senate is still in session, but as the sittings have been suspended, and the Sergeant at Arms are keeping eye on this maze. They can see the procession of the Speaker has approached the chamber. In readiness for these proceedings, we hand you over to Plenary. Have been your host, Jeremy Chabari. Thank you and welcome.
Order, Honorable Senators, welcome back. Clerk, kindly proceed to call the first order.
Order number 1, communication from the Chair.
Now, Honorable Senators, ladies and gentlemen, in the morning sitting today, Wednesday, 13th of March, 2024, Senator Miraj, I want to be heard in silence. In the morning sitting today, Wednesday, the 13th of March, 2024, in the course of the opening statements of the parties in the matter of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Robert Onsare Monda, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, a number of preliminary issues arose. For the County Assembly, Council raised the following matters. A request pursuant to Rule 10 of the Rules of Procedure when considering the proposed removal of a governor in plenary as contained in the third schedule to the Senate standing orders. That one, Mr. David Hagai Oyagi, the Acting Director, Enforcement and Compliance, County Government of Kisii, be summoned to appear and give evidence before the Senate, and in particular to produce his letter of appointment and confirm if the persons who are said to be working in the Deputy Governor's home are officials in the county. And 2, a preliminary objection to certain paragraphs contained in the bundle of documents submitted by the Deputy Governor and a request that they be expunged from the record on the grounds that they are irrelevant to the current proceedings as they are in an answer to allegations or charges that were not made by the County Assembly. Now, Honorable Senators, for the Deputy Governor, a preliminary objection was raised on the basis of Rule 20 to certain paragraphs contained in the bundle of documents of the County Assembly on the basis that these paragraphs, among them paragraph 14, 22, 23, 24, and 25, were introducing new evidence and were not permissible. Counsel for the Deputy Governor urged that everything not communicated by the County Assembly in its transmittal letter dated the 1st of March 2024 be expunged from the record. Counsel for the Deputy Governor also objected to the summoning of Mr. Hagai Oyagi, as this would violate the Deputy Governor's right to a fair hearing as enshrined in Article 50 of the Constitution. Now, the defense of the Deputy Governor also raised a preliminary objection to the effect that the impeachment proceedings at the County Assembly were conducted outside the timelines provided for in the County Governments Act and in standing orders of Kisii County Assembly, and were therefore fatally incompetent. Honorable Senators, ladies and gentlemen, the final matter which arose and which this ruling will address was the matter of the appearance in the defense team of the Deputy Governor of one Sylvanus Osoro, a Member of Parliament serving in the National Assembly, who is also the Majority Whip in the National Assembly. Honorable Senators, ladies and gentlemen, Rule 30 of the Rules of Procedure, when considering the proposed removal of a governor in plenary, as contained in the third schedule to the Senate Standing Orders, provide as follows. Where a particular question or matter, including but not limited to questions of evidence, materiality, relevance, competence, or admissibility of evidence, and any questions consequential or incidental thereto, no provision has been made in the standing orders or in these rules. The Speaker of the Senate shall rule on the question or matter, and the ruling of the Speaker shall be final. As rightfully pointed out by Senator Sifuna, Rule 30 applies in circumstances where no provision has been made in the standing orders or in these rules. Where the standing orders and the rules make provision, naturally those provisions apply. Honorable Senators, ladies and gentlemen, as you will be aware, the timelines provided for the disposal of these impeachment proceedings are quite tight. As you're also aware, the Senate, when conducting the impeachment process, is sitting as a tribunal in a quasi-judicial capacity. Article 159(2) of the Constitution requires that in exercising judicial authority, courts, tribunals be guided by certain principles, among them that justice be administered without undue delay or undue regard to procedural technicalities. It also requires that the purposes and principles of the Constitution be protected and promoted. Additionally, the Constitution under Article 259 requires interpretation of the Constitution that promotes its purpose, values, and principles, and advances the rule of law and contributes to good governance. Honorable Senators, applying the Constitution, the County Government Act, the Senate Standing Orders, and the applicable rules, I rule as follows on the matters raised. 1. Firstly, on the request for summoning of Mr. David Hagai Oyagi, the Acting Director, Enforcement and Compliance, County Government of Kisii, pursuant to Rule 10, the same is permissible under the rules and is hereby allowed, with the caveat under Rule 20 that his evidence can only relate to the charges that were the basis of the impeachment as read to the Deputy Governor. This is in recognition of the right to a fair trial that the Governor enjoys under Article 50 of the Constitution. Directions are hereby given to the Office of the Clerk to immediately issue summons and facilitate the appearance of Mr. Oyagi in the Senate tomorrow, Thursday, 14th of March, 2024 at 2 p.m. The necessary adjustment to the proceeding shall be made to facilitate this. Secondly, on the preliminary objection to certain paragraphs contained in the bundle of documents submitted by the Deputy Governor and the request that they be expunged from the record on the grounds that they are irrelevant to the current proceedings as they are in answer to allegations or charges that were not made by the County Assembly, the same is disallowed, as no prejudice to the County Assembly has been shown. The Senate is competent enough and will make a determination on the relevance of any evidence adduced before it. Thirdly, for the similar reasons, the preliminary objection raised on behalf of the Deputy Governor that certain paragraphs in the bundle of the documents of the County Assembly be expunged on the grounds that they introduce new evidence is disallowed, on the basis that the objection of necessity requires evidence to be adduced and its support or rebutted, and this can best be achieved in the course of the hearing. I therefore rule that this objection be subsumed and taken up by the defense in the course of the presentation of the case of the Deputy Governor. On the objection of counsel of the Deputy Governor that the proceedings of the County Assembly were conducted outside of the timelines provided for in the County Government Act and in the standing orders of Kisii County Assembly, and were therefore fatally incompetent, I also rule that this is a matter of fact requiring adducing of evidence and will best be determined by hearing both parties and entertaining evidence that they have in respect thereof. This preliminary objection is accordingly also disallowed at this stage. Finally, honorable senators, ladies and gentlemen, is the matter of appearance of the Deputy Governor by Honorable Sylvanus Osoro, a member of Parliament serving in the National Assembly, who is also the Majority Whip in the National Assembly. It recognized and is provided for in Standing Order 83 of the Senate Standing Orders that the Governor has a right to appear and be represented before the Senate or a special committee. This is a right recognized in Article 50 of the Constitution. It is not in dispute that Honorable Osoro is a member of Parliament and a state officer in terms of Article 260 of the Constitution. Pursuant to Article 75(1) of the Constitution, a state officer is required to behave, whether in public or official life, in private life, or in association with other persons, in a manner that avoids any conflict between personal interest and public or official duties, compromising any public or official interest in favor of a personal interest, or demeaning the office that the officer holds. In this respect, therefore, it is also useful to cite the well-known principle that justice must not only be done, but should also be seen to be done. The attention of the Senate was drawn to the Senate, can properly take judicial notice of the fact that the Honorable Osoro is a member of Parliament representing a constituency in Kisii County and a leader both in the county and the national level, holding a senior leadership position in Parliament in the Parliament of Kenya. And Article 93 of the Constitution, Parliament consists of the National Assembly and the Senate. And although the National Assembly and the Senate are required to perform their respective functions in accordance with the Constitution, it is the role of Parliament to protect the Constitution and promote democratic governance of the Republic. The roles of legislation